Hi, and welcome to the HomeRemediesForYou.com influenza review. This episode we're going to be reviewing the flu. Now we know from a lot of data that we have right now. Let's take a look at this page, for instance, from the CDC that they say getting a flu vaccine is more important than ever during 2020-21 to protect yourself and the people around you from the flu, to help reduce the strain on the healthcare systems responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, I want you to know that I have recently got my flu shot, and did experience a small bit of nausea afterwards, a little soreness around the injection site, but other than that, came out just fine, and want to do whatever I can this year to help protect myself from getting the flu, because they say the COVID combination and the flu combination can be a bit serious. But what we're here to do today to talk about on Home Remedies is we know about all the things that your physician can do and that over-the-counter medications can do. So let's just go over some of those things. Let's go over, for instance, what Tylenol can do for the flu. We know that Tylenol can reduce your fever, and we know that if things get really, really serious, that your physician can give you something called Tamiflu, which if it's caught really, really early, can help with the flu quite a bit. But today we're really wanting to focus not so much on the traditional medicine, but we're trying to focus on those things with home remedies. What can we do in kind of a natural way to address the flu and the symptoms of the flu and kind of make it through that time period that all of us need for our body to fight off this nasty little bug. So today we're here to go over a influenza page on our HomeRemediesForYou.com site. I want to say, if you want more information like this, just go to HomeRemediesForYou.com. That's Home Remedies Remedies for you.com, and you can find a wealth of information there about home remedies for all types of ailments, including the flu. So first of all, let's just go over this article that we've written. I want to go over this article, and I want to go over some of the things that I think are important to know about the flu. For instance, influenza is one of the most common health problems that affect basically men, women, children, everyone living in the United States. So it can be described as a viral infection that attacks the respiratory system, and usually that symptom is going to come out in a couple of ways. It's going to come out in nausea. It's going to come out in respiratory symptoms. So let's go right down here to a few symptoms of influenza. You're going to have a runny nose. You're possibly going to have a sore throat, congested nasal passages, muscle pain, mild to severe headaches. You're going to have a fever, maybe over 100 degrees. You're going to have weakness and tiredness. This often affects you in your limbs as you kind of feel tired, and maybe even you get a little bit sore, depending what the virus is doing to you. So the cause of influenza is just kind of clear. It is a viral infection. It happens. Usually get it transmitted to one another. One thing that will be very interesting this year is to kind of figure out how the whole mask thing is going to affect the flu, because that's kind of an unknown right now. It's a chance that, since everyone is wearing masks, especially in certain areas, that we might actually get less flu in those areas. It will be a very interesting experiment. We haven't done that in the United States before. We haven't thought about what happens if everybody was wearing a mask for these kind of contagious viruses. So let's get right into the home remedies for the flu, because I think those remedies are really, really interesting, and the things that we can do kind of naturally, which is what this video was about. Our company, for instance, has multiple natural remedies websites where we talk about things you can do naturally, from exercise to home remedies, and we really believe that we're going to try to get people on that right kind of healthy track before you have to actually resort to some more of the pharmaceuticals. So here we're talking about just drinking a cup. We're going to say drink a cup of warm water right here. So what we're really saying, you're going to drink a cup of warm water, and you're going to add a few lemon drops and drops of honey to that warm water. So it's really easy. You can go to your cabinet on your shelf, and you can get that dropper of lemon juice. Actually, that's usually kept in the fridge, and the honey might be kept on the shelf. Put a few drops of that in warm water, and that tends to do a really, really good job at helping mitigate the symptoms of flu. You can loosen the phlegm, and the body can get rid of it. And that sort of process should be repeated 2 to 3 times a day. So it's really simple. Make yourself some hot water in the electric tea kettle. Put a few drops of lemon in it. Put a few drops of honey in it. Repeat that. Keeps that phlegm broken up. One of the things you want to do with phlegm is you want to hydrate the phlegm. You want to put a lot of fluid in your body so you can loosen that phlegm. If you don't have a lot of fluid in your body, you really can't loosen that. And you can go ahead and also create, you're going to boil a tablespoon, the second one, of fenugreek seeds, and a half a liter of warm water. And then you continue boiling the seeds till the water reduces to 1/3. Then add a teaspoon of fresh ginger. Now, anybody knows that ginger is going to have 2 benefits. One of the benefits of ginger is that it's going to help with this situation. The other benefit is if you have a bit of that nausea, the ginger is really going to help with the nausea. And go ahead and add a few drops of honey just to make it a little sweeter and more palatable, and drink this mixture once a day. We do want to say that be careful when you're preparing any of these recipes for home remedies. Use common sense. Don't add like a whole bag of seeds or something like that. Just take these remedies in moderation. If you have any questions at any time, do consult your physician if you're concerned that any remedy you find anywhere is not safe. But if you use this remedy in good proportion with the seeds, this will help you. You can also take a jar and mix equal amounts of honey and lemon juice, honey and onion juice. And then you're going to take that mixture, you're going to consume around 3 to 4 teaspoons of this mixture about once a day. And that's really going to help you, again, with basically loosening your phlegm and feeling better, a little bit to the nausea, and will help reduce some of the symptoms of flu. And here we're talking about turmeric. Now, we all know that turmeric has these wonderful anti-inflammatory properties. So you do tend to have some overall body inflammation with the flu. So the turmeric helps right there. So you're going to take a teaspoon of turmeric in a glass of warm milk and consume this about 3 times a day. And this helps strengthen your liver, which is really important. The liver is the filter in your body. Everything gets filtered through the liver, and alleviates some of the symptoms of the flu. So you're really trying to do a liver flush, a clean flush of your liver, and alleviate those flu symptoms. And finally here, ginger tea has an excellent effect. You can use it to alleviate the symptoms. Use a couple of 2 to 3 pieces of ginger and consume that regularly in tea throughout the day. Now, just real quick here, we're going to go over just a couple of things. What should you be eating as a diet when you have the flu? Now, you want to eat as healthy as possible. That generally means vegetables and consuming natural, healthy foods. You don't want to grab the bag of potato chips or pretzels and say, oh, I'm here at the flu and I'm going to munch myself out and hopefully I'm going to get better. That's probably not going to give your body the best defense. You want to go for more of the natural foods. So let's talk about some of the things that you would want to do. You'd want to eat leafy greens like spinach or cabbage, Brussels sprouts, or kale. You'd want to also eat broccoli, one of my personal favorites. I love broccoli. It's one of my favorite foods to eat. We have carrots. We again have ginger. Ginger is really good. We have onions, grapefruit, oranges and orange juice, lemon, and peppers. So all these things are going to be really good. Think of yourself as a natural diet. Notice that you do want to be careful about having too many foods that are going to upset your stomach. So always, as you look at these things, be very careful and try to think, I don't want to upset my stomach with anything. So what are some of the foods, just quickly, that we should avoid? Because there's certain foods that we just don't want to eat when we have the flu. They might tend to make our symptoms worse, like if you ate spicy food, for instance, as we say here. Down here we say spicy food. Yeah, that's probably not going to be the best if you have spicy food, because if you already have nausea, then you don't want to add the problem of spicy food onto the top of that. We're going to want to stay away from sugar and sweets. We know that kind of the sugar really, it raises our blood sugar. When our blood sugar is raised, our body is a little bit more unhealthy, and therefore it's not able to fight the flu enough. So we want to keep those sugars in control. Don't grab bags of candy and start eating them during the flu. This is kind of common sense. That also has to do with refined flour and bakery products. White flour and things like that really is not that good for you at all. You should consume that, if you do, in very small amounts, especially not when you're sick, because you know what happens when white flour hits your bloodstream? When it hits your bloodstream, within a few minutes, it is processed into glucose that turns into just a sugar bomb in your body, and sugar is not going to be the best thing to help you fight the flu. Of course, you shouldn't be drinking with the flu. Now, most people would know this. It's not the time to like grab a beer and say, oh wow, I think I'll have a cold one right now when I have the flu. You're going to compound your problems. You can not only upset your stomach, you can make your whole condition worse. But again, alcohol is one of those things that tends to weaken the body. Not so good. Also coffee, when you're already having a problem with, let's say, a bit of diarrhea, giving a diuretic like coffee, something that make you maybe actually go more, is not really going to be, again, a good idea. And caffeinated beverages in general should be avoided, especially those kind of high caffeinated beverages where you're really trying to kind of pump your body up. You know what the best thing to do when you have the flu is you're going to want to eat really, really healthy, and you're going to want to rest. And the other thing you're going to want to do, just to be completely honest and transparent here, is that if you have problems and they worsen after a few days, start to get better, you start to get worse, and this is after maybe 1 or 2 days, you're sitting there and you're thinking, you know what, I'm not better at all. I'm, maybe on the 3rd day or the 4th day, you're really saying, hey, look, maybe there's something going on here more than that. That's the time to call your doctor and check in. You don't necessarily have to go, but you should get your doctor's opinion at that point. But you want to do everything you can to prepare your body well for handling the flu. Also, it's not a great time to like have extremely strenuous exercise. You want to actually do something very, very simple. You want to rest a lot. So you want to eat really well and you want to rest a lot to get you through the flu symptoms. So I hope you liked that overview today of what to do naturally when you have the flu, what foods to eat, what foods to avoid to eat, and what those natural remedies are. If you want any more information of this, please go to our website, www.home-remedies-for-u.com. So go there, and I'll see you next time with another overview of an insightful and helpful health topic. Thanks a lot, and talk soon.